Transformation ratio formula we know. That is actually this one is the formula for a transformation ratio. K is equals to E2 by E1 is equals to N2 by N1. Whatever the two equations of E1 and E2 we have derived, take the ratio, you will get E2 by E1 is equals to N2 by N1, and that is called as transformation ratio. When the transformer and KVA rating of transformer we know. KVA rating of transformer is equals to V1 I1 is equals to V2 I2. But which one KVA rating? Full load. Whenever I say, 1 minute, will show you. Here I have written KVA rating is equals to V1 I1 is equals to V2 I2, isn't it? So whenever I say this KVA rating is at full load, whenever I say this KVA rating is at full load, so here I1 and I2 value also will be which one? V1 and V2 will be from the nameplate. And on the nameplate, whatever the KVA rating given, it is the full load KVA rating. And V1, V2 also whatever given on nameplate, isn't it? Whenever I say KVA rating into 10 to the power 3 at full load, means which one KVA rating you have to use? The one which is given on specifications, that is the nameplate of a transformer. Then which one value of V1 and V2 you will use there? The one rated, which is called as rated values. The one which are given on nameplate. Okay. So whatever the I1 and I2 then you will get here, that will be which one? Full load, half load, or at
Full
any
load.
load? Full load. Very good.
Full load.
Okay.
Full load.
Correct. Full load. So current at full load and current at suppose half load or 75% of full load. Suppose current you are load you are changing from no load up to full load. So I1, I2 changes or not? We have seen load on transformer, you go on changing. What's about I1, I2? Changes. Okay. If you are increasing load, I1, I2 increases. If you are decreasing load, I1, I2 decreases. If load you are changing, I1, I2 changes, means what's about KVA rating then? At that load will also go on
Changing.
changing. What the thing means? Whatever given on the nameplate in the specifications is the full load KVA rating. What the thing? Okay. But load KVA rating means suppose load on transformer is 75% of the full load, not fully loaded. Whatever is the full load, it's 75% of load is there on the transformer. Then at that time I1, I2 will be different. They will not be full load values of I1, I2. So KVA rating also different. What the thing? So whatever the given on the nameplate is the full load KVA rating, but as using that and V1, V2 given on the specification, you can calculate I1 full load and I2 full load. This one formula we have seen. But as load changes, I1, I2 changes. So for that particular load, KVA rating will be different. Okay. Next. So this is so using that KVA rating is equals to V1 I1 is equals to V2 I2. What we can do? V2 by V1 is equals to I1 by I2. And when you take the ratio of E2 by E1, you will get N2 by N1, and that is called as K is equals to transformation ratio. Now this one, whatever the circle on your left side and right hand side, you can equate in which condition. You can equate it here. See what you can see. E2 is equals to, if I equate them, what does it mean? E2 is equals to V2 and E1 is equals to V1. And these two things are possible under which condition? When we can say
At no load.
very good. At no load. Got it? Means whatever the circle on your left and right, you can equate when the transformer is on no load. What the thing? Otherwise it is not. We have seen under loaded condition, E2 minus I2 R2 is equal to V2 is the voltage equation on secondary. And what is the voltage equation on primary? V1 is equals to E1 plus
I1 R1.
I1 R1. Got it? Okay. But if transformer is at no load, then E2 will become equal to V2 and E1 will become equal to V1. Okay. Next thing, we have seen this when the transformation ratio greater than 1, less than 1 and equal to 1, step up or step down and 1-to-1 transformer. Okay. Now see, whenever you are doing the calculations on transformer, see transformer we have seen, that is the primary side, it has primary winding. Okay, secondary winding it has, so primary winding parameters V1, I1, R1, secondary winding parameter V2, I2, R2 and E2. So if you do calculate along with this, one more parameter is also there. We have seen the effect of leakage flux, isn't it? Here I'll see whether I have written about leakage flux. Leakage flux. Okay, it's not here. We'll tell you about the leakage flux. Leakage flux we have seen one more parameter along with this V1, I1, R1 and E1 on primary, and on secondary V2, I2, R2. Along with this, you have to consider one more additional parameter. Which one it is? See, this one is the leakage flux which completes its path through air. So to consider the effect of this leakage flux, what is done? See, this one is the leakage flux. It is coming in contact with N1 number of turns. So as per Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, what will happen? EMF will get induced in this N1 number of turns, and that is marked as small e suffix L1. L stands for leakage. Small e stands for induced EMF because of leakage flux, and one suffix stands for on primary winding. Okay, so to consider this induced EMF, one more parameter along with resistance on primary is considered, which is a leakage reactance. And it is denoted like this: resistance in series with some inductance, and its value in ohm is XL1. Okay, so now next topic we are going to see the equivalent circuit of a transformer. So in equivalent circuit of a transformer, which show you here, see. See, this one is called as a equivalent circuit of a transformer. Now no one will ask you to draw it because it's a online exam MCQ pattern. So you just understand the parameters. Okay. Questions based on its parameters you may get asked, but not to draw it, isn't it? So see, if you observe, what is this R1 here? Resistance of primary winding, resistance of secondary winding, V1 voltage applied to primary winding, which is always constant, I1 current flowing through primary winding, V2 voltage across load, which we mark as VL also. You can mark it as VL also. E2 mutually induced EMF in secondary, E1 self-induced EMF in primary. This is the primary winding, secondary winding, two straight line indicates the core. This one parameters we know, the rest we'll see. And this is the impedance of load which we connect across secondary of transformer. Here I2 not shown, you can show here current flowing through load. Secondary winding of transformer through load is I2. Okay, now what is this X1, what is this X2, and what is this parameter? These are new to you, and this one also. This one, if you remember, I told you why flux in the flux in the core of the transformer remains constant. So the moment I2 starts to flow in secondary, it produces phi2 in opposite direction with phi1. So that time what transformer does, it takes additional current. See this one, it is I2 dash. Okay, otherwise before it I0 was flowing. Okay, and the moment load you connect across secondary, current starts to flow through this load, I2 flows and it produces phi2 in opposite direction with phi1. See, additional current transformer takes. Which one I told you that time also, you can denote it as I1 dash also in some books. Why I1 dash I have shown there? Because it was flowing in primary. So you can represent it as I2 dash. So I2 dash is that current. And then what happens? Whatever the flux produced by this is in opposite direction with phi2 and of same magnitude. So both will cancel So resultant flux in the core remains constant. So that is, this one is the additional current which transformer takes in proportion to I2. Okay, and this is then obviously no load current. This is then obviously no load current, I0. So at no load, we know secondary loss, no current flows through secondary winding. Means what transformer has to do? Only it has to supply core loss at no load. What do you think, core loss takes place or not? This I2 dash everyone got? What is I2 dash here? Any difficulty for this? Again, we'll show you whatever the things we have seen about why flux remains constant. See this one page, if you remember why flux remains constant in the transformer core. I told you up to this point, I2 is not flowing. The moment I2 starts to flow, it produces phi2 in opposite direction with this flux. So the moment it starts to flow, what transformer does? It takes additional current. So in that equivalent circuit, this one is denoted as I0. Up to this, whatever the current flowing, up to this, whatever the current flowing, you can call it as a no load, because I have not connected up to this point load across secondary. The moment I connect load, I2 starts to flow. Means whatever the current flowing up to this point in primary winding is no load current, and which is equal to, here rather than I1, I will represent it at I0. Whatever denoted in equivalent circuit. Okay, just for your understanding, I0 I denote it means no load current. All of you can hear me, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Because here it is showing unstable connection. Okay, so here I0, and this one is which one current in equivalent circuit? It is shown as I2 dash. Just for your understanding, I have denoted it as I1 dash. Why? Because it is flowing through primary. Got the thing? These two currents in equivalent circuit, I0 and I2 dash. Then this I2 dash or I1 dash, it produces flux in opposite direction and of equal magnitude of this. So both the fluxes will cancel and phi core. Okay, so this is the two things, I0 and I2 dash. Okay, so here in equivalent circuit, you can see equivalent circuit, just you understand the things that what are the parameters. Okay, no one will ask you to draw it, just what I am explaining to you, what each and every parameter stands for. So this is about I0 and I2 dash, isn't it? I0 means what? No load current, isn't it? So no load, we'll see later on. This is okay. We'll finish with no load first. Now see, this is the no load current, I0. Now I0 means what? No load current. Means when the transformer is on no load, will there be any copper loss in secondary transformer?
No.
When it is at no load, means current flowing through secondary is how much? Zero.
0.
I2 is zero, means secondary copper loss is zero, isn't it? Means which one copper loss takes place in transformer at no load? If secondary copper,
Primary.
correct. If secondary copper loss is zero, means only primary copper loss will take place. So this R0 is the component regarding to that primary winding copper loss, and which is very, very less. R0 and current flowing through it is IC. C stands for copper loss and R0 stands for resistance of primary winding at no load. Okay, so this one is the component related to only copper loss which takes place at no load, which is very, very less. Okay, and whatever the current flow, what does it mean? Whatever the current flowing at no load, it has to overcome the primary winding copper loss, which is very, very less at no load. Again, what do you think if you are not going to put any load on secondary? What's about flux flowing through the core remains always constant from no load to full load, or it changes? We have seen flux flowing through transformer core from no load to full load, it remains constant or it changes?
Constant.
It remains constant. We have seen number of times. Transformer, it's a constant flux machine. On secondary of transformer, this load you disconnect, that is no load transformer, and you go on changing this load from no load up to full load. Still flux in the core remains constant. Okay, if flux in the core remains constant, we have seen flux density in the core remains constant because flux density is flux per unit area. We have seen the formula for hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. That formula constant, it has some k suffix h, k suffix e, b max square 1.67 in one formula, f frequency is there in that formula. In hysteresis loss, volume is there, and in eddy current loss, thickness of plates is there. Okay, remember that formula, hysteresis loss and eddy current loss formula. Okay, so if flux per unit area remains constant, means flux density in the core remains constant, means core loss is constant. This one we have seen. Why core loss, iron loss is constant. So can you tell me, if no load is there on transformer, suppose this one you are going to keep open, secondary. So will any core loss, that is iron loss, takes place or not? At no load, will flux flow through core? कंसिडर करो कि सेकेंडरी पे कोई भी लोड नहीं है, तो कोर में से फ्लक्स फ्लो होगा क्या? विल फ्लक्स फ्लो थ्रू द कोर ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मर एट नो लोड? यस और नो?
करंट
नो नो, फ्लक्स थ्रू कोर.
फ्लक्स तो फ्लो होगा.
हाँ, फ्लक्स विल
फ्लक्स
फ्लो
फ्लो
correct, flux will flow through core. So will there be core loss and iron loss at no load?
होगा.
It will be there. It will be there. We have seen that the flux in the core remains constant from no load up to full load condition. What does it mean? And we have seen also that iron loss, core loss is a constant loss. That time I told you, although load on secondary of transformer, this one, you go on changing from no load condition up to full load condition, iron loss, core loss remains constant. What the things? दिखाती हूँ आपको, whatever we have learned about losses again. ये देखो, यहाँ पे देखा था हमने, isn't it this one page? If you remember, see, copper loss, variable loss, iron loss, constant loss. Constant when it is remains constant, although load you go on changing from no load to full load, means no load पे भी iron loss होता ही है. Got the thing? आप फुल्ली लोड करो, नो लोड पे रखो ट्रांसफार्मर को, आयरन लॉस ऑलवेज टेक्स प्लेस. ठीक है? सो whatever this component over here, this one, see, it is related to that one. Means at no load, magnetization of the core is required. So this is the iron loss or core loss which takes place. This component is related to that. Okay, iron loss and core loss. So this is about the equivalent circuit of this transformer. One more thing left, this one, X1 and X2. So just now I told you about the leakage flux. Leakage flux, that we have seen leakage flux flowing through primary winding, comes in contact with n1 number of turns. So as per Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, see, flux flowing, completing its path through air, which we call it as a leakage flux. Okay, leakage flux of primary winding. It is coming in contact with n1 number of turns itself. So because of it, as per Faraday's law of electromagnetic, EMF will get induced in primary winding because of leakage flux. So to consider the effect of this EMF on primary winding, X1 is denoted. So whatever this X1, when current I1 flow through it, how much voltage drop will take place across it? EL1. Okay, got the things? What is X1 on primary? So it is the effect of, to consider the effect of leakage flux on primary. Same thing happens on secondary also. What will happen on secondary sides? Through secondary winding, current is flowing. The moment current starts to flow through secondary winding also some leakage flux will be there on secondary side, that I will mark phi L2. Some flux will complete its path through air. Means whatever the I2 flowing through secondary winding, it will produce flux phi 2. Not 100% flux flows through core. Some percentage of flux flows through air also. So that will be the leakage flux, and maximum percentage of flux flows through core. So this leakage flux on secondary side, it is coming in contact with N2 number of turns. So as per Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, on secondary also EMF will get induced. So that is marked as small e suffix L2. 2 stands for secondary, L stands for leakage flux, and small e stands for EMF induced. Okay, so to consider the effect of this leakage flux on secondary, what is done? This is the leakage reactance denoted on secondary. So XL1, in some books you will find it XL1 and XL2. Okay, like this also you can denote, or X1 also, X2 also you can denote. So whatever this X2 on secondary is nothing but when I2 flows through this, whatever the voltage drop across it will be equal to this EL2. So all the things got it clear about this equivalent circuit of transformer. So see, this is primary winding, this is secondary winding circuit, and these are the two straight line indicates the core. This is complete one is called as equivalent circuit of a transformer. So on primary side, we apply input voltage, current I1 flows through primary winding resistance, copper winding resistance denoted by R1. This is the effect XL1, that is the leakage reactance. To consider the effect of leakage flux on primary, reactance is denoted in series with R1. So whatever the total current flowing here, it's a addition of no load current I0 plus I2 dash. I2 dash I told you, what is it? Isn't it? When you connect some load, then that time I2 dash start to flow. Otherwise, only I0 will flow. At no load, I1 and I0 will be equal. And as you load the transformer, I1 will be equals to I0 plus I2 dash. Okay. So this no load current, when the transformer is at no load, only primary winding copper loss it has to overcome, plus it has to magnetize the core. Okay, so this is called as copper loss component at no load, and this is called as magnetizing component of no load current. If you see, it is like this. Not in detail, you have to go see magnet, because this one no one will ask you to draw it. Whatever the parameters I'm telling, that you just understand. IM is called as magnetizing component of that no load current, and I0 is called as active component of that no load current. So if you plot the phasor diagram for this, phasor diagram not there in your syllabus, but still we tell you, this is the V1, this is flux. E1 and E2, I told you, as per Lenz's law, it will oppose the cause producing it. That's why all of you can see it is in opposite direction with V1. Phasor diagram not there in your syllabus. Still, why IM formula we have seen, IM is equals to I0 sine of phi 0, how it comes. That's why I'm explaining you the phasor diagram. Means just only not the mug up type of things will be there. So like this phasor diagram you will get. This is the no load current, and you can decompose into two components. This is the C magnetizing component of no load current, which is required to overcome the core loss, which takes place in core, and that's why this component is in phase with flux. Another component is related to copper loss, and copper loss takes place in copper winding, and copper winding are purely resistive. That's why you can see here resistance and current current and voltage are in phase. That's why this component comes in phase with V1, and this component comes in phase with flux. Okay, so resultant of this two law parallelogram. So what I can say here, the resultant is I0 no load current. So what I can say here, IM is I0 sine of phi 0, and IC is I0 cos of phi 0. Means in this triangle, you take sine phi cos phi. In this triangle, you can say in this triangle. Okay, so you will get this. Like this it is, not in much detail you have to go for this. Okay, got the things. Equivalent circuit of transformer. Any difficulty with this? Again, on secondary side, E2 is the mutually induced EMF, E1 is the self-induced EMF, R2 secondary winding copper resistance, X2 or XL2, that is to consider the effect of leakage flux on secondary side. This is the load impedance, ZL or Z2 also you can mark. Here current not shown, that also you have to show here in equivalent circuit. I2 current flowing through secondary winding, and same is the total load current, and voltage across load is V2, which is equals to VL. So this is the equivalent circuit of a transformer. Any difficulty with this? All parameters clear in equivalent circuit? Okay. Now here if you see, if you do calculations on primary side separately, you can do calculations separately on secondary side also. But doing separate calculations for primary side, separate calculations for secondary side, another convenient option which is less time consuming is what you can do. You can transmit this parameters, means R2, X2, V2 also you can transmit, E2 also you can transmit. All these parameters you can transmit from secondary to primary, and then with reference to primary you can do the calculations, and reverse thing also you can do. See, this is the case. Exact equivalent circuit referred to primary, that is called. Means what is done to make calculations easy, secondary side parameter R2, X2 and V2, ZL, they transferred on primary. That's why it is called as referred to primary. For what purpose it is done? Only to make calculations easy. When transformer they want to design, directly design nahi karte. All of you know designing part. Some data they collect, then analysis they do, and then they find out all the parameters. So while doing all these things, some calculations also needs to done. So separately on secondary and separately on primary, rather than doing like this, what is done, all the parameters you can transmit on primary, and then refer to primary you can do the calculations. Or reverse thing, transmit all primary side parameters on secondary, and then refer to secondary you can do the calculation. See here, this parameters remains constant, secondary side as it is there. What is done, primary side are all transferred on secondary, and that's why it is called as exact equivalent circuit referred to secondary. Again I am telling to you, no one will ask you to draw this. What is important here, just all these parameters, what is its meaning, that I already told to you. Okay, and referred to primary, referred to secondary, what is its significance, just to make calculations easy. Now how to transmit the parameters on primary and how to transmit the parameters on secondary, only which one is there in your syllabus, only resistance and reactance. Question, if you get asked to transfer the parameters from here it is, see the effect of leakage flux. Now here I have written, see Yx1 is there and Yx2 is there. Okay, so leakage flux, phi L1 comes in contact with N1, EL1, to consider this effect, XL1 or X1, this one, and similarly X2. This is, you can say Z1, this one you can say Z2, and ZL is load impedance. Okay, here it was. Now only in your syllabus, if you get asked, can transfer the parameters from primary to secondary or secondary to primary, only for resistance and reactance you will get asked, and that is very easy. So how to transmit, that we are going to see. And why there is a need to transmit, because then calculations become easy. If rather than doing separately on primary and rather than doing separately on secondary, what is done practically, all parameters they transmit on primary, and with reference to primary or referred to primary they do the calculations, or reverse. Okay, so referred to primary, what you have to do, that only will see for resistance and reactance only, because that is only included in your syllabus. Okay, now see, total copper loss, all of you know, primary copper loss and secondary winding copper loss, I1 square R1 plus I2 square R2. Previously also we have seen, referred to primary it is, that's why take I1 square common from this. If you take common, you will get here I2 by I1 its square, isn't it? And what is I2 by I1 in terms of K transformation ratio? Yes, I2 by I1 is 1 by K or
1 by
only,
K.
right? So you can replace it by 1 by K. So what its simplification will be like this, isn't it? See, it is simplified. What does it mean? Whenever R2 I wanted to transmit on primary, because here I1 is there. So what you have to do? Divide it by K square. Divide it by K square, and that is marked as R2 dash. In the equivalent circuit, you may have seen R2 dash. So what is R2 dash is R2 by K square. What does it mean? R2 from secondary you have transferred on primary. So you have transferred on primary side resistance is already there. Transferred secondary winding resistance, which is R2 by K square. Current flowing through that is I1 square, will be the total copper loss. Okay, like this it is calculated. What the thing means, conclusion आपको सिर्फ यहाँ पे क्या ध्यान में रखना है? If you get asked calculate R2 dash, what is R2 dash? Is called as equivalent resistance of secondary referred to primary. In MCQ exam can be the question, calculate or what will be the equivalent resistance of secondary referred to primary, means what? R2 dash. And what is R2 dash? R2 by K square. R2 value will be given to you. K also you can calculate by taking N2 by N1 or E2 by E1 or V2 by V1. And then just do R2 by K square and that will be R2 dash. And what is R2 dash? It's equivalent resistance of secondary. ये secondary का resistance है. See, R2 है means what? Resistance है. R stands for resistance. Suffix 2 है means what? Secondary का है. Isn't it? Then डैश सफिक्स है, मीन्स ये ट्रांसफर हुआ है, तो ऑब्वियसली कहाँ पे ट्रांसफर होगा? प्राइमरी पे, रेफर टू सेकेंडरी, एंड इट इज कॉल्ड एज इक्विवेलेंट. इक्विवेलेंट रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ सेकेंडरी रेफर टू प्राइमरी, एंड दिस इज द ट्रांसफर्ड वन, and already primary has R1 resistance, so addition of these two will be what? Equivalent, total equivalent resistance. This is total equivalent resistance of transformer referred to primary, and as it is referred to primary, that's why suffix is 1, and equivalent hai isliye suffix is e. What the things? So these two questions, MCQ question you may get asked. Calculate the equivalent resistance of secondary referred to primary, or calculate total equivalent resistance of transformer referred to primary. Got it? रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ सेकेंडरी रेफर्ड टू प्राइमरी बोला कैलकुलेट करने को, तो कैलकुलेट R2 डैश विच इज इक्वल्स टू R2 by K स्क्वायर, एंड टोटल इक्विवेलेंट रेजिस्टेंस रेफर्ड टू प्राइमरी बोला तो R1 plus R2 dash, that is R1E, you have to find out. Clear these two things, two formula. Only आपको MCQ question रहेगा, either calculate this one और कैलकुलेट दिस वन, तो ये फॉर्मूला सिर्फ आपको ध्यान में रखना है. क्लियर? एनी डिफिकल्टी विद दिस? हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, हैव यू गॉट इट? Okay, same is the thing for reactance also. Only except a resistance, say here reactance. What the thing? Same. See, primary side reactance is already what? X1. Secondary side, if you transmit secondary side parameters, when you transmit on primary, you have to divide it by K square. That's why X2 divided by K square is X2 dash. X2 divided by K square is X2 dash. So what is X2 dash? Equivalent reactance of secondary referred to primary. If you get asked, calculate equivalent reactance of secondary referred to primary. So what you will do? X2 divided by K square, and that is X2 dash. That's it. Suppose you get asked, calculate total equivalent reactance of transformer referred to primary. So primary ka already hai X1 plus X2 dash will be the X1E. suffix same है, whatever we have seen for resistance same is here for reactance, same suffix. वहाँ पे R2 dash था तो यहाँ पे X2 dash है. Earlier one was R1E, here it is X1E. Any difficulty? Refer to primary. Means what is the conclusion? आपको सिर्फ यहाँ पे इतना ही ध्यान में रखना है, whenever resistance and reactance, that is R2 and X2, whenever you wanted to transmit from secondary to primary, you will divide it by what?
K square.
K square. That's it. इतना ही ध्यान में रखना है. ठीक है? R2 divided by K square is R2 dash. R2 divided by K square is R2 dash. See, R2 divided by K square is R2 dash. Means you have transferred it from secondary to primary, and on primary R1 is already there. So add it, R1 to it. So that will be R1E, and that will be R1E will be total equivalent resistance referred to primary. Same is for reactance. On secondary side, reactance is X2 divided by K square. What does it mean? It will be X2 dash, means you have transferred it on primary, and on primary X1 is already there. So X1 plus X2 dash will be the total equivalent reactance of transformer referred to primary. That's it. Clear? Similar, same things you can do. Parameters you can transfer from primary to secondary also. Reverse thing. So for that purpose, what you have to do? See, refer to secondary. Secondary means I1 square you will take common from this, or I2 square. Same जैसे earlier किया था, I2 square you have to take common. So its simplified form will be like this. Means I am telling you why you are dividing there by K square, and now here why by multiply by K square. Earlier one divide by K square, and for refer to secondary you have to multiply by K square. And why it is so? तो उसका ये derivation है. ये derivation no one will ask you. What you have to keep only in your mind. Refer to primary है तो divide by K square करना है, और refer to secondary है तो multiply by K square करना है. And why multiply by K square? तो ये इसका ये है explanation. If you take I2 square common, so you will get like this. And what is I1 by I2 is K, and it's square, isn't it? So what does it mean? See here, R1 into K square. What does it mean? Whenever resistance and reactance you have to transmit from primary to secondary, multiplied by K square. The rest thing are same as that of earlier one. Okay, so see, R1 into K square if you are doing, means you have transferred resistance R1 from primary to secondary. That's why it will become R1 dash. So it's the equivalent resistance of primary referred to secondary, and on secondary already R2 is there. So this R2 and transferred R1 dash is what? Total equivalent resistance of secondary. Means total equivalent resistance of transformer referred to secondary, and suffix is R2E. Okay. Similar thing hai, parallel things hai, isn't it? Same with reactance also. See, on secondary already X2 is there. From primary to secondary you have to transmit, means what? X1 into K square you will do. So that is called as X1 dash, where X1 dash is what? Equivalent reactance of primary referred to secondary, isn't it? And add it with X2. So that will be X2E. And what is X2E? Total equivalent reactance referred to secondary. Means conclusion kya hai? What is the conclusion? Suppose you get asked calculate the resistance, means this one, equivalent reactance or resistance referred to secondary, to multiplied by K square. Multiply R1 by K square and multiply X1 by K square. And suppose you get asked total equivalent reactance or resistance referred to secondary, so do R2 plus R1 dash for resistance and X2 plus X1 dash for reactance. Got the things? Now I have explained. You again after lecture read it. It will you will get it. Some of you may got now only. But still you are confused, isn't it? Many terms are there. Primary side, secondary side, referred to primary, referred to secondary, then you transferred it. So total equivalent, equivalent, isn't it? Referred to primary, referred to secondary. So conclusion is resistance and reactance, whenever you are transmitting from secondary to primary, divided by k square. And reverse, that is primary to secondary multiplied by k square. That's it. ठीक है? क्लियर? ध्यान में आ गया आप लोगों को? एनी डिफिकल्टी? इसलिए अभी देखो, हाँ ये यहाँ पे देखो डैश 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 यूज हुआ है, तो ये रेफर्ड टू प्राइमरी है, इसलिए इसकी वैल्यू, सभी की वैल्यू क्या रहेगी यहाँ पे? r2 बाय के स्क्वायर, x2 बाय के स्क्वायर. यहाँ पे भी देखो इम्पिडेंस ऑल्सो सेम फॉर्मूला, बट दैट इम्पिडेंस नो वन विल आस्क यू, ओनली आई टोल्ड यू व्हिच वन यू विल गेट आस्क, r2 एंड x2 ओनली. ठीक है? बट द रेस्ट ऑल्सो यू कैन गो. हाँ यस प्लीज.
विजिबल नहीं है.
आप थोड़ा लाउडली बोलो. स्क्रीन विजिबल नहीं है क्या? तो आपकी तरफ की इंटेंसिटी बढ़ाओ ना, then it will be more visible, because from here I can't do anything.
No.
For
या बिल्कुल नहीं आ रहा, बस वहाँ पे वो के शेयरिंग देखते
नहीं, आपका आवाज कट हो रहा है, और बड़ा निकालो प्लीज आवाज, मुझे सुनाई नहीं दे रहा. एक मिनट में मेरे तरफ से आवाज बढ़ाती हूँ. मेरे तरफ से
किशोर में एक बार.
हाँ बोलो क्या?
कुछ बोल रहा था कि यहाँ पे मतलब कि स्क्रीन विजिबल ही नहीं है. मैं लगा नेटवर्क इशू में मैसेज करता हूँ.
आपका आवाज कट हो रहा है, स्क्रीन विजिबल नहीं है तो सी. Next one is efficiency. Direct loading method of transformer. So direct loading method of transformer, remember, direct loading method. What we do, the one more file I will open. Experiment number 5 it was, right? Transformer. Okay, so direct loading method. Next topic. Everyone listen, क्योंकि इस पे भी न्यूमेरिकल्स इंक्लूडेड है क्वेश्चन बैंक में. To change it, okay, that is the meaning of this variable arrow. So here direct loading method we are performing on this transformer to calculate its efficiency and voltage regulation. What are the specifications given to you of transformer? It's a single phase 50 hertz transformer. Single phase means single winding on primary, single winding on secondary. Its kVA rating is 1. It's a 1 kVA transformer. On primary side you can apply 110 volt. On secondary you will get 220 volt. Whenever in the specification it is given to you secondary side voltage, means this voltage in which condition you will get it? At no load. Okay, at no load it is, isn't it? So here this is given primary winding full load current and secondary winding full load current. How to calculate it? We have seen the formula, kVA rating into 10 to the power 3 divided by V1. You will get this, means this kVA rating divided by V1 you will get 9.1, and kVA rating divided by V2 you will get 4.55 ampere. Okay, I1 full load, I2 full load it is given. Now how you can calculate the efficiency? Wattmeter, all of you know wattmeter. It is the instrument which is used to measure the power in AC circuit. DC power formula is what? What is the formula for DC power?
VI.
VI means
Equal to
only
VI.
right, means only voltmeter you connect in the circuit, ammeter you connect in the circuit, you can calculate the power, no need of wattmeter. But what is the formula for AC power? VI cos phi. Cos phi also required, where phi is the phase difference between that V and I. Okay, so in AC circuit, to measure the power, compulsory wattmeter you have to use. So if you observe here, wattmeter, it has 4 terminals, M, L, C, V. Okay, so multiplying factor, these are the specifications for wattmeter. These are the specifications given for wattmeter 2. One wattmeter you connect on primary side, one wattmeter you connect on secondary side. Additional information will tell you here. This is the current coil. It is more inductive. That's why its symbol is like this. This is the pressure coil. It is more resistive. That's why the symbol is like this. How you have to connect always wattmeter so that load current should flow through its current coil. On primary winding itself is a load. So see, whatever the current flowing through primary winding, same current is flowing through current coil of that of this wattmeter. Here also see, this is the load, lamp load. Here lamp, tungsten filament incandescent lamp, that is the resistive type of load. For resistive type of load, we have seen no phase difference between voltage and current, means power factor is unity here of this load. Okay, so see, whatever is the load current, same is flowing through this current coil, and load current and secondary winding current are same. So like this wattmeter always you have to connect, so that load current will flow through its current coil. And how you have to connect its pressure coil? If you observe this pressure coil, see, whatever is the 110 volt you are going to apply on primary, complete 110 volt is there across this pressure coil. In this secondary, we have seen number of times E2, that is the mutually induced EMF. That mutually induced EMF completely, whatever it is, which remains throughout constant, is applied across the pressure coil. See here, like this wattmeter you have to connect always, so that its current coil, it should carry the load current, and its pressure coil across it must be the supply voltage. Now if you observe here, this is the 110 volt you have to apply on primary single phase AC everywhere. 220 volt single phase AC is available. Then how you can apply 110 volt? You have to use the auto transformer. See here, this one is the symbol for auto transformer, variac demonstrat. Okay, so across it you give single phase AC input, which is constant, and on its body one variable knob is there. These are the two output terminals. Across it one voltmeter is connected. This voltage is applied across primary winding here. See, okay. So what is happening on its body? You go on changing this variable knob from 0 position in clockwise direction. So what will happen? Voltage available across these two output terminals will go on changing, and that variable, this knob you change, so that reading of this voltmeter is 110 volt. Means auto transformer means what? Available is constant, and you have auto transformer in next lecture in detail we are going to see. In brief, it is there in your syllabus. Okay, right now you keep the application of auto transformer. Transformer we know, to step up and step down the voltage. And what's about auto transformer? To apply variable AC voltage. If available is fixed and you wanted to give to some circuit variable AC voltage, go on changing this knob. As you go on changing the position of this knob, voltage across its two output terminal go on changing, and that's why it is called as variac also, variable AC voltage. Okay, so adjust 110 volt across primary winding, and that we are going to keep constant throughout the experiment. Input voltage is constant. Okay, so here see, wattmeter we have connected on primary, wattmeter we have connected on secondary. It will give you single phase AC power consumed on primary. Input single phase AC power V1 I1 cos of phi1 in watt. This is the W2 wattmeter connected on secondary side. It will give you power consumed by this load, which is equal to V2 I2 cos of phi2, single phase AC output power. Formula is unit is watt. So output power you know, input power you know. If you take the ratio of W2 by W1 into 100 will be the percentage efficiency. Like this you can calculate the efficiency. Connect one wattmeter on secondary, connect one wattmeter on primary, go on changing the load. Suppose 5 readings you are taking, first reading at no load, and then 2 lamps in parallel, 4 lamps in parallel here across these two terminals, 6 lamps in parallel, 10 lamps in parallel, and for every reading note down the value of W1 and W2 and take the ratio for every reading W2 by W1, 5 for 6 reading, all 6 efficiencies you will get. Okay, now here in wattmeter you should know its multiplying factor also. Voltage range and current range here is given. Both of the wattmeters power factor consider करो 1 है. So formula for multiplying factor of both the wattmeters is V range into I range into cos phi divided by maximum scale deflection. See, maximum scale deflection means in that wattmeter scale ends where? So scale starts from 0 and it is ending at 750 watt. Maximum scale deflection, full scale deflection. So V range for first wattmeter given 150 volt. For second, for current range is given 10 ampere. Cos phi I told you take it as 1. Scale ends at full scale deflection. Maximum scale deflection is 750. So multiplying factor is 2. You will get 1500 divided by 750. ये formula ध्यान में रखो. Multiplying factor of wattmeter. In practical also on this you will get asked question. If V range for wattmeter is 150 volt, I range is 10 ampere, cos phi is 1 of this wattmeter and its full scale deflection or maximum scale deflection is 750, then what will be its multiplying factor? So this is the formula, V range into I range into cos phi divided by maximum scale deflection. So you will get it to, what does it mean? Suppose ये जो pointer scale arrangement रहती है, if the pointer is at suppose 150 here, so reading is not a 150 watt. It is what? 150 into multiplying factor. What is the multiplying factor? 2. So 150 into 2, that is the 300 watt. Same is the thing for second wattmeter. See, second wattmeter, what is the V range? 300 in circuit diagram it is given. See here, 300 volt, 5 ampere. So see here, 300 volt, 5 ampere, cos phi is 1 and full scale deflection, maximum scale deflection for this wattmeter also 750. So same thing, see, for this also multiplying factor is 2, means if the pointer is on 200, so reading is what? 200 into 2, that is the 400. Okay. So this is about the wattmeter and how to calculate the efficiency. Okay. The rest part of this method we'll see in next lecture.